Hello. Welcome back. If you're watching the replay, thank you. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, all the things. We are doing a collective reading again today. That's the only thing that I'm doing right now. Just for the time being, we'll see how that goes. Holly is not going to be here today. She has her physical therapy, so send Holly all the love and healing vibes so she can get on the fast track to healing that leg. Anything else? I don't think so. We might actually be moving the live to Tuesdays instead. So that Holly can actually join us because her physical therapy is scheduled for Mondays for the foreseeable future. So in order to have our beautiful, lovely, always supportive Holly with us live, then I do believe next week, moving forward, at least just for the time being, we're going to go ahead and accommodate Miss Holly by doing the lives on Tuesdays. Hi, Ben. How are you, my love? Okay. It has been a week, you guys. I've been so freaking overstimulated. There's so much going on just in the world and in life right now that I've been tending to a lot of different things. Very overstimulated. Had to take the whole weekend to just like decompress and cut off external stimuli. I have like 20 text messages in my phone inbox that I have not gotten to. So tried getting back to everybody on Messenger and all those things, but life be life in right now. So bear with me. Your girl gets easily overstimulated, overwhelmed, and I gotta unplug. So if you guys are feeling that way right now, it is natural, normal for you to feel that way. We have so much happening right now with energies, with planetary placements. We're in pre-shadow Mercury retrograde, you know. So life is lifing like 2.0 right now. So if you are feeling the need to, cut off that external stimuli, then don't feel bad for doing so right now. Okay. All right, we'll get into it. If I can keep my hair out of the way. I pulled my own hair on accident. Hey, Mike, how are you, love? Nice to see you in here. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Your children need more of your time. This doesn't necessarily have to mean actual children, like human children. This could be your fur babies or your feathered babies or your scaly babies, whatever kind of babies you have, or projects, okay? Projects, life purpose. This could be clientele. This could be your inner child needing more of your own time. Hello, welcome, TC. Thank you for joining us. This is a collective reading, so this is all signs. Your insecurities are hindering you right behind that. So I would definitely say if you have any kind of inner child work that is surfacing for you right now, definitely tend to that because there are blockages, right? There are hindrances. When our inner child feels threatened in some way or unsafe in some way, it could even manifest as a simple, like um, receiving a phone call that you weren't expecting from someone you weren't expecting it from, and it causes anxiety because this is out of the norm. And what's wrong? What are they like? What kind of news are they going to tell me that's going to just blow my whole world apart? That happens a lot with neurodivergence, but allow yourself to observe these things as they're happening and check in with yourself. Am I feeling unsafe? Am I feeling unsupported? Am I feeling the need to, remove certain energies, people, places, things, situations from my life at this time to bring myself more peace? Hello, Matt. Hello, Anna. Um, this is necessary for us, especially right now, especially as a collective, because of the collective shit that is surfacing for us all right now. You can see it playing out worldwide. There are multiple countries that are rising up against their tyrannical governments, okay, which every government on the plane right now is tyrannical in some way, okay? So this is a way for us individually and humanity to recalibrate. We are rebalancing. We can no longer move forward in the way that we have lived before. That was the before, that is over. Um, so, I mean, they're losing their grip, right? And by they, we talk about the controllers, the main 13 families, bloodlines, not families, but bloodlines that have controlled this matrix paradigm for quite some time now. All of that is crashing. They're losing their grip, and they're getting harder and harder and harder on the fear mongering game. It's just gonna happen, just like in the US right now. Medicaid, Medicare, SNAP, all of these social services for the people who, are in need, especially like most of them are working 2, 3 jobs, right? So um, all of these programs are being completely threatened right now. Not only that, there are political games being played right now. There are, fascist dictators that are trying to take power or trying to continue to assert their power. There is a lot going on. All of the ugliness of the patriarchy is rearing its ugly fucking head right now. And it's doing so on purpose because of all of this high frequency energy and the light codes and all of the things that are happening for us. The veil is gone, right? We're seeing things for what they have been for generations on generations now. So um everything is rising so that we can see it and we can clear it. That's going to trickle down into our immediate awareness, right? Into our external circumstances individually. So people showing their true colors, masks slipping on people, situations that are not aligned to you are crumbling right now, whether that's a job, relationships, any kind of relationships. All of these things are not working out. Things are not moving forward for a big reason, so that we can readjust our trajectory, our focus, and get more heart centered. Right? That's what this whole Great Awakening is about. And like I talked about last week, um, with the energies that are they have been trickling in for the last few years or so, but now it's, we've got these big waves of energy, these great big attention grabbing things like Three Eye Atlas and the Black Swan, and like all of the, I think there's 7 different comets that have entered our solar system that are not normal. We have energy waves from Antarctica and from our sun, which is a portal, right? So we have all of these high frequency codes and these light codes hitting us now. Those are exposing the darkness, they're exposing the shadows. So of course we're going to have this huge shadow phase, right, where everything seems to be going wrong, nothing is going right. We've got Page of Pentacles in the reverse, Page of Wands in the reverse. Okay, the tangible things that should be moving forward, that inspiration, maybe it's not coming, maybe you're feeling completely uninspired, maybe a bit depressed, um but that's the suppression. And if you are starseed, if you are in the spiritual community and you like walk the walk, you don't just get on there and like talk and pretend like you are for egoic purposes, as a lot tend to do, then you know about shadow work. Okay, and if something isn't jiving, and no matter which way you try to overcome it, it's just not working out, there's shadow there, there's something getting your attention that you need to heal, that you need to focus on. So again, going back to that inner child, it's time to nurture that inner child. 7 of Pentacles, you are establishing solid foundations in your own experience, and we are on the collective scale as well. But first we got to weed out that motherfucking garden, right? And most you know human perceived weeds, because weeds are not weeds. A lot of weeds are actually medicine, and that's why they don't want you to grow it. They want you to grow the grass that serves absolutely no purpose, in governments around the world, right? So we are actually degrassing, okay, the lawn. Okay, we're growing generational wealth, and what that means is, things like is being very highlighted right now, especially in the US, food security. If people were growing, lawns and, I mean, growing gardens instead of lawns, trees, all of these things, like we're meant to, we could sustain ourselves and this wouldn't even be an issue. So we have to face these things that are not working and the shadow aspects of these things. And I am not at all saying that this is a good thing. It is ultimately a good thing, but a lot of people are going to be, traumatized. They're stressed right now. This is what they want. They want the fear. So don't feed into it as much as possible. Okay. Handle your business, give them as much attention to it as you need to right now, but don't feed the machine. That's what they're doing right now. That's why they're making a big splash. They're making a big fuss. They're tightening the constraints around people as much as they can to milk every last drop of that loosh, that gold that they can get from you, because their time is up. It's gone. It's done. They're gone. They're out of here. The manipulation is ending. Okay. The dark magic with this magician in the reverse, the dark magic, the spells are gone. They're over. They're done. They're broken. Okay. And it's taking a little longer for some folks to wake up to that, but collectively right now, we're doing really fucking good. You may not see it from certain perspectives because it's so much chaos. But when this many people, this many of the collective worldwide, and even with countries that don't have, access to internet, or their countries are very strict on the propaganda and what they can and cannot see, they're still uprising against their governments, whether they have communication with the outside world or not. Okay. So this is a species evolution. Okay. This is the evolution of the human species. You don't have to have that Wi-Fi communication because we work on telepathy. Okay. And from here on out, that's how it's going to be. It's just going to get stronger and stronger. Thank you, Anna. I'm glad. Nose is starting to run. Last ditch effort to grab what they can. Yeah, exactly. And that's why you see them working on the bunkers and all of these things, right? They think that that's going to save them, but honey, energy can penetrate the ground too. Okay, you're not safe, especially not whenever you have been banking on making your money on the lack of safety for the common good of all. Okay, you're not getting out well. Okay, you're not going to get off that easy. So it looks ugly. Nothing is working. We got the lovers showing up in the reverse. It could even be in your own individual experience, right? Because this is collective reading, but apply it how it applies to your own life. Because what is meant for you will never miss you, right? But what's not meant for you will eventually decay. It will wash away. Okay. It doesn't belong in your frequency anymore. So we are on some levels being tested on our attachment to certain ways of life and certain things, people, etc., in our lives, that cause us to feel lack, that cause us to feel scarcity. It's that self-perpetuating cycle. People do it all the time with relationships. Think romantic relationships. You're in a shitty relationship and things aren't working out, or you're not receiving what you need, or maybe it's even abusive, right? And then you decide finally, after who knows how long, I've had enough and I'm going to leave this situation. But what a lot of people will do, and you know this, whether you've done it yourself or you've been close to someone else who's done it, some people will jump into or try to jump into a relationship right after that, and then everything's all fine and dandy for the first like couple of months, 6 months, maybe even a year, maybe a few years for some, but eventually they always show their true colors. And more often than not, because that person didn't take the time to heal the reasons, the root cause of why they chose that first person to begin with, the next person is going to be just like that other person, but just, in a different expression and a different body and in a different style, so to speak, of abusive or toxic cycles. Okay. So we have to recognize those cycles, recognize, oh, I'm choosing that in a different person every time. Just like with our government, some people are like, oh, I can't wait to vote this person or that person out and, bring someone new. You think that new politician is going to be any better than the old politician or the ones before that one? It's not left versus right. It's a whole facade. It's the whole damn bird. Okay. So electing someone else in that can be easily bought isn't going to do us any good from the last several times we've done it. What is the very definition of insanity? Okay. So people have to see, people have to recognize it, people have to face it and actually heal the reason why they're attracting those in the first place. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. Yep. Everyone in some way is working on scarcity and lack because that's the only way that this plane has functioned under the patriarchy, right? To for these 1% very small minority of human beings, if you can call them that, old white men, controlling everything, they have to make everyone afraid or have to feel like they're living paycheck to paycheck. They have to outperform, they have to perform more, they have to go to work, they have to get more jobs just to be able to live. Okay? That's not our natural state as human beings, but that's how the patriarchy has controlled the masses for millennia now. So we have to become aware that we are our own blockage. We keep putting our faith in these external sources that are the ones, in fact, controlling us for their own benefit. But just a few people awakening to that fact isn't really going to do anything, because those of us who have been awakened to it for many years now, who have seen the game, who have seen the patterns, okay, and we've been shouting into the void, we need a revolution, we need the masses, like, the grasshoppers and the ants, okay. Same idea. We have to awaken, like, to our own insanity. We, as a collective, have to decide to shift it into a more favorable outcome for the highest good of all, instead of the highest good of a few dusty ass old white men. Okay. Yeah, y'all see the pattern yet? Please. I'm begging you, see the pattern so we can rise up, man. And whatever, they might censor it. I'm not really worried about it because I have like a small channel anyway. So censor me, bitch. My people know where to find me, and they know, they already know. We've discussed this. So waiting on your light body so you can just circumvent the whole eating thing. Dude, like, eating is a daily battle for me because I forget the neurospicy, we forget to eat until we're not sure why our body is breaking down. Like today I was like this, trying to put my eyeliner on, and I'm like, oh, I should probably eat something. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, eventually we'll get there. Yeah, eventually, Mike. Not it's still going to be more so tangible based biosuits and things like that, but our light bodies are going to be more integrated with the flesh biosuit. So sustenance is going to be a little different moving forward, which is also part of why the whole food thing is an issue right now. But that's like a whole different discussion. We won't go into that, or else I'll be here all day. But we are being broken down. We are being forced to see our shadows, all of the, insanity that we've been operating under, that generations of us have been operating under, and just taking it because that's what we were programmed to do. Those of us who are, the starseed, the neurospicy, or the, indigo children, whatever label you want to throw on them, that's why we came here awakened. That's why we were born asking fucking questions. I asked whenever I was a very small child. I think I was maybe like 8, 7. I was like, Mom, why do we even have money? Like, why does there have to be money? Why can't people just eat? Isn't that a basic human right? Like, everyone has to eat to survive. So why do we have to pay so much? Or why do certain people not get access to food because they can't afford it. Like that never made sense to me. Just like, hey mom, why aren't dinosaurs mentioned in the Bible? Why aren't aliens mentioned in the Bible? Because they don't exist. And I'm like, well, dinosaurs have been proven to exist in it. And she was like, oh, it says somewhere in there there were the beasts that walked before man or some shit like that. And I was like, but there's a burning bush and like sky people, like angels and stuff that talk to humans, but they're not aliens. But there's UFOs, like it's collectively like observed by multiple people that there's UFOs, but you say God says there's not because he didn't mention it in the Bible. Like none of this is adding up. Some of us were born to come in and question this shit, to open the eyes of others just by existing, just by asking questions. So yeah, gradual transformation for sure. So we're here to change the shitstorm, the shitstorm, the system, the shit system, however that was supposed to come out. Shitstorm of a system that we've all been living under. Okay, we're bringing this cycle to a close, baby, in the most harmonic and beautiful way possible. Okay, we are bringing a close to it, bringing an end to that cycle, which is the World card, is bringing things to an end, closure. Queen of Pentacles, baby, with balance, with groundedness, because we are of Gaia. We are Gaia's children, right? Do you think that these controllers, these extraterrestrial, meaning not of this, not naturally, native to this world that we live in, they're not tethered to Gaia, they're not grounded to Gaia. That's why they have to use, whenever they use people for loosh. Do you wonder why there's so many missing and murdered indigenous people? Not just women and children, but also men, okay? More so with the women and children, because we know what they do with the adrenochrome shit. With, they need children for that. Women are the birth givers, the life givers, right? So native blood is a lot more important to these types of beings, which is why so many go missing, and most are never found. Okay, and not only indigenous, but that's a really prime example. That's a really good example because they like variety. Like we like variety in our diet, right? So do they, but they need to have this energy of someone, a people who are grounded, who are salt of the earth people, indigenous to Gaia in the most raw possible way, right? Even though most humans are indigenous to Gaia in some way, I'm just talking about the more indigenous tribes because they are more often than not are more connected to their source, to their roots through their culture. And you don't get a lot of that with most white people because most white people don't know their culture. And I'm not talking about like people in other countries who've been that, generationally been there being white for, thousands on thousands of years. Not talking about you guys, just the ones that, most of us white, at least in the United States, most of us don't really know our true heritage, right? Our true culture. Hello, Kara. I love you. We're glad to see you join us too, love. So, yeah, fuck the shitstorm. I can't take credit for that. That came through the channel. It just dropped right out. So, I was going to say system, but yeah, anyway. We do it through groundedness. And I know I went on a long little side quest with that, but here we are with that Queen of Pentacles energy. That's the Divine Mother. That's being connected to Gaia, which we are, right? In order to reach the highest heights of spirituality, in order to, use that wide open crown chakra and receive all of the fucking secrets of the universe, bitch, you have to be tethered to Gaia. You have to be grounded to Gaia because you are a child of Gaia. You're here on the planet. You have to be anchored in order to have that continual loop. And we've talked about this so many times. I know you guys already know this, but for those who are new, who are watching the replay, who are just joining on the channel, don't know, that's what it is. Like you have to be grounded. And that's why spiritual people, not just in the spiritual community, among, all over the place in different areas, they always talk about being grounded, being balanced, go out and, do some earthing barefoot on the ground, go hug trees, go spend time with your feet in natural water, because that is what recharges us, because we are children of Gaia. Yes, some of us are also star children. But for now, with this vessel, that's what we have. This is all we got to work with right now, you guys. This is our only piece of equipment we could come in with, okay? We have to be tethered to Gaia. We have to be recharging ourselves through that connection, because we're children of the stars, but as within, so without, as above, so below, we are children of Gaia as well. So if you're not getting your grounding in, do it, okay? Do it as often as possible. And that divine masculine is showing up right behind that Queen of Pentacles with the divine feminine. This is the balanced masculine. This is the emotionally balanced, emotionally mature, self-aware masculine energy. And we all know, and, people talk about the matriarchy is coming back. We're going to run this bitch. And you guys know my views on that if you've watched me for a while. It's everything in balance, not one or the other, okay? And men are a creation of woman, right? That's just how it is. It's actually, sorry guys, but you who identify as masculines, you are an inverted version of the feminine. Because you can't procreate alone, but as it turns out, information that they've been suppressing for many, 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 many years now, females can procreate without a masculine carrying seed. If you don't know, then look it up, Google it, do a search. I don't suggest Google. If you guys are going to use any search engines, use DuckDuckGo right now, because they be gathering information and shit. Hello, Dallas. I love you. Hello. How are you? Healing the is all I got. But if you want to drop your name, I will call you by your name. If you want to remain your screen name, totally fine too. Welcome, welcome. So we are healing and balancing that masculine energy, because this is a dualistic plane, right? We live under the guise of duality a lot of the time. Contrasts help us to really define what it is that we truly want, though it's kind of gotten off into its own little creation there. We're bringing it back by, we all have masculine and feminine within us, because we're born to a plane where, hello, Sandra, thank you for that. We are born to a plane that has duality. So we have the positive and negative, the light, the dark, the male, the female. And I'm not talking about biology or anything like that. I don't, whatever you identify as, but we all have masculine and feminine within us, because we're born under these circumstances on this plane at this time. Okay. So we're going to have to heal the wounded masculine within us, and all of us, males and females. I don't care what you identify as, you have masculine and feminine within you. Okay. You're going to have to balance and bring into healing that feminine energy. And we all know that there's toxic feminine. That's, what a lot of people, not just men, but a lot of men bitch about the toxic femininity too. And it's true. There's a lot of toxic feminine, and we can argue back and forth all day over who caused what and what caused who, but it doesn't fucking matter. We're here to heal the shit that we've been handed down generation after generation after generation. The programming, we're here to bust that shit up. The only way we're going to heal the patriarchal programming is to come into balance with our masculine and our feminine, and then have them work together in balance. That's what it's all about. We need the positive and the negative to create on this plane, in this world, this whatever you want to call it. That's just how it functions here. Okay. Has for a while. A lot of that heavy duality is going away. First, it's got to be broken up. First, it has to come to the surface. We have to, give it our attention. We have to heal it. We have to do something about it. And then we evolve past that. So we've already learned those lessons. So it's going to be improving. We're going to learn duality in more pleasurable ways, in more balanced ways, instead of the toxic ways. We're moving towards being healthier and actually being free. This is what is in gestation right now with that pregnancy card right next to that mental health, that fragmented mental health card here. We're healing that so that we can birth this new future into being. It is not our future, it is our now. And we need to start acting like it. We need to start constructing it, just like people are using their voices. They are saying no. They are, we're not going to, like, the UK, y'all rising up against your own shit with the digital ID thing and saying no, absolutely the fuck not. This is not, no, this is not a good time for anyone except for those in control. We're not having it. We're putting our foot down. What's happening in Italy right now, Peru, all kinds of places all over this earth plane right now. Okay. There's people trimming my tree. So if you guys hear chainsaws, they're doing tree trimming outside, so that snow doesn't crash a limb onto my house. Anyway, so we're quitting, right? We're not fucking working this bullshit slave mode anymore. We've awakened to the fact there's more than enough to go around. There's abundance everywhere. And the only thing is there are a 1% of controllers who control the abundance and say, "Oh no, we're going to make the 99%, feel that tight squeeze and think that there's nothing but lack, all around, and they're going to be just trained up in that awareness or lack of awareness so that we can continue to benefit off of their labor, off of the sweat off of their backs." And we're like, no, we're not doing this anymore. So we're quitting that job, okay? Because all y'all are doing, and I'm talking about the controllers, all they're doing is taking the creatives, the actual human beings who produce beautiful art, music, dance, whatever. And if you've noticed, okay, like it's become blatantly apparent in the last couple of decades, there will be these mainstream ones. Everybody knows J-Lo, okay? Everybody knows Selena, who J-Lo played the part of Selena Quintanillos, who was a beautiful up-and-coming Latina singer, okay? Not many people knew that until after she passed away, but take that for example, okay? Think like MK Ultra stuff, like how these people will just go into schools here in the US and just like a lot of that has to do with MK Ultra type stuff, okay? So keep that in mind. Who took Selena's spot after playing her in the movie that was created like less than a year after her actual passing? Okay. And that's not the first. That's just a really prime example that I know almost everybody is going to be familiar with. So these celebrities, okay, that seemingly come out of nowhere. And like if you look through history, there's a lot of doppelgangers that look identical to like all of these celebrities, even the ones you guys think are good ones, okay? And they evolve lifetime to lifetime. They play a different character lifetime to lifetime. They need new material though. They can't play out the same characters across many different centuries, right? So they need new material. So what they'll do is they will take an actual talented human being, and they will mimic them. Okay, they'll let them work for a little bit, they'll let them become pretty known for a little bit, and then they will take their style, whether they unalive them or not doesn't always matter. Like the one hit wonders you hear about, like, oh my gosh, I love 90s music, like 80s 90s, I mean 60s 70s 80s 90s music is my shit. So I have a lot of one hit wonders on my playlists, and I'm like, I will rock out to that shit. And I was thinking, like, why did they never like these songs fucking slapped and they could have become like huge superstars. But then you see what happened with like all the people that are in these music and Hollywood like TV film industries, and you see the things that they have to do to become well-known actors or singers or whatever, and you can see how some real people would turn that shit down. Like, I'm not going to become a SA slave for you just to get a part, to just be creeped on for my entire career and then blacklisted because I decided to not do what you were trying to make me do. So that's an explanation for those one hit wonders, but they will take your style, they will copy your shit, and then they will, use it and pass it off as their own or adopt that style. Think of Lady Gaga, okay? If you guys know about that thing, like, I don't follow celebrities, but I hear some really sinister, weird shit about them from just like Facebook, TikTok, whatever. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. So yeah, there's just like we've been talking about for the last like year or two now, people who say you're like me, okay, because I have firsthand experience of this, and you're doing what I'm doing right now, or you're singing, or you're acting, or you're doing whatever your talent is, whatever your interest is, and you're putting it out there, and then other people will watch you or try to befriend you, and then they will try to destiny swap. Yes, Anna, they will try to destiny swap with you. They will try to copy your content. Like I actively have people doing that on me. Actively like follow you and watch your shit without giving you credit ever. And then they will go ahead and then emulate that for their own content. Like they can't do their own original content because they're not original. They think that, oh, you're good at that, and people like you for being good at your talent. So they're gonna try, because they don't know who or what the fuck they even are. They're gonna go ahead and try to usurp that and get attention in whatever way they need to, or make money off of whatever they want to. So yeah, I've some celebrities, but like usually the less mainstream ones. The only more mainstream ones that I've ever really cared about was like Tom Petty, and the croc hunter Steve Irwin, because who doesn't love Steve Irwin? But anywho, so this is all over. You cannot copy, you cannot be a carbon copy, you cannot push something off as original when it's not yours, when it's not authentic, because authenticity is the highest frequency, and this earth plane is going to be high frequency. Okay, that's what we're moving into, from the lower shadows to the higher frequencies. So you're probably going to be let down by a lot of the people that you see taking advantage of you or copying your shit, and or XYZ, doesn't even matter. But you know what? Even if they do benefit for a small amount of time, or they get some kind of traction from that, it's not going to continue for them. Oh yeah, definitely agree, Matt. Steve Irwin, definitely Earth Angel. I just seen a video of like his son posted, I think yesterday, and I bawled. I bawled. Stop bringing it up, Matt. You're gonna make me cry. Queen of Wands energy. This is that divine feminine. This is the creation, okay? After being suppressed and oppressed for so long, the human species is stepping into that divine feminine, Queen of Wands energy, where we are creating. We are tapping into that womb energy, whether you have one or you do not. It does not matter. You have an energetic womb, okay? Because you are everything. You are all that is. You are source. So you can't be just a little bit of stuff and not the rest of stuff, right? You are all that is. So you have had experiences. If you believe in reincarnation, if you don't, then don't listen to me. Just don't follow me, because I'm going to tell you everyone does it. But you've been male, you've been female, you've been androgynous, you've been all of these other things. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay, Matt. It's like super, super proud son. So carrying on his dad's beautiful legacy. So it just hit me right in the feelers. But when we awaken to the fact that most of this shit is fake, all of those celebrities, all of those actors and singers and blah, 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 they're playing a role. The public facing part that you see is not actually them. Quite a lot deeper than that, actually. I know you guys, a lot of you have seen like the shapeshifter videos where you can see their eyes turn into reptilian little slits, and like their skin turn into scaly shit. And yeah, you've seen some shit slip. So quite literally, they are mimics. They are copying. They are copying us, okay, to try to blend in, to try to harvest. Think about like things like the Super Bowl that everyone's going crazy over because Bad Bunny is going to be doing it and he's Puerto Rican, and like all of the racist people are like, it's a whole thing. They're pre-energy harvesting. They're getting everyone emotional about it before the Super Bowl even gets here, so they can start harvesting the energy now. Because why? This doesn't happen regularly. People don't bitch and fight about the Super Bowl months before it happens, usually, but they are now. And the whole political sphere everywhere on this plane is, doing all these crazy big things where they're like by leaps and bounds trying to snatch up people's sovereignty, their rights, trying to spark fear in everyone over every fucking thing. Why? Because they're on their way out. They're trying to grasp for every single last little straw that they can get. Don't feed them. Don't feed the monster. Don't feed the fucking machine. We're here to break this shit, not feed into it. So I know that we're human and we can get upset about everything that's happening, everything that's being provoked right now. There is more than enough to go around to incite just complete and utter insanity at what humanity is doing. It's not humanity doing it. It's what people think is humanity doing it to humanity, but it's not. So stop feeding the machine, okay? Observe, do not absorb, okay? And if it triggers something within you, feel your emotions, feel why you're triggered for your own reasons by that observation, but don't feed and loop your fear back into it, because that's exactly what they're doing to try to keep hold in this plane a bit longer. Because if your free will is invested into them still, you're still voting for them, right? Your attention is your vote. So you're focused here, you're voting, I want more of that, right? Because that's how manifestation works. Whatever it is you focus on, you get more of. It doesn't mean it doesn't matter if you're in lack or if you're in abundance. What you focus on, you get more of. We're aware of that. So that's what they're doing. They're causing all these big scenes. All these actors are coming on to like, fear monger and rage bait everyone just to get their emotional reactions. So fucking free yourself. Observe it. Recognize it's happening. Speak up about solutions. A solution would be getting these motherfuckers out of here. It would be us taking back our governance. All of us. And working for the people working for the people, or people all agreeing for the people, for the highest good of all, not the few. Okay. So the way you free yourself is you don't invest that intention, don't invest that fear. Okay. Because you are a fucking God. You are God in a human form right now. You are God in many other forms in other lifetimes. You're powerful as fuck, or else they wouldn't be harvesting your loosh and provoking you so that they could get that fear energy out of you. Like, I don't know how to make it more clear how fucking powerful you are, how fucking divine you are. But they've programmed you to believe that you're nothing. They have bleached your godhood out of you. It's time to snatch it back, because gods don't beg, they create. They take what is theirs. They don't ask for it. And I'm not saying that in a negative way, because some people could be like men, okay? And I'm not talking about the men's in here. I know you guys are good. I'm talking about the men. The ones who women would choose the bear, and like if it was if you could choose a man or a bear to be in the woods with alone, like I would choose the bear, that thing. Those men that you would choose the bear over. You don't take what you want in that context. It's for the highest good of all. For the highest good of all, not for what you want to benefit, what you in your toxic perspective feel like you're entitled to. No, baby. Absolutely not. If that's what you get from what I just said, then heal your fucking self. Huh. Which brings us to bottom of the deck over here. Healing. Restoring back to health. That is exactly what we're doing. We're emerging from the chrysalis right now, my loves. We're emerging from the fucking cocoon. Stretch them motherfucking wings, dry them bitches out, and then flutter on over here and we can go flutter together. Okay? We are healing. We are not stepping on people to get what it is that we think that we want. We are no longer sacrificing our own people or stepping on them so that we can get ahead. That's not how it fucking works. Not in the new earth paradigm. If you want to stick with the old earth paradigm, go right on the fuck ahead. Because you ain't going to be on planet for very long. Okay? When it gets to that point, frequency wise, they're not going to be here. Their bodies running on analog, not updated to the crystalline structure, are no longer going to function. Why do you think there are so many mass crossings right now? And that doesn't apply for everyone. Does not apply for everyone. Just because people are passing away right now does not necessarily mean that they're bad or that their bodies are, it just means that's part of their plan. Okay. I'm talking about, you know, as this shift continues, like you're going to see a lot of people, or what you thought was people, you know, go off planet in some way, shape, or form. Transformation. That's transformation, baby. That's evolution, honey. So evolve, transform, flow with it, because we're making progress. This is progress. So focus on yourself, focus on what's healthy for you and all connected to you. Damn, this is unfolding beautifully. You and your loved ones are safe. New moon in Cancer. No matter what craziness, what chaos is unfolding in this earth plane at this time, you and your loved ones are safe with this new moon in Cancer. Cancer is a sign of family, you know, femininity, of unity, oneness. Okay. You and your loved ones are safe. Operate from that healthy frequency, from that healed space. Okay. Meditate and contemplate, because there's a lot going on right now, a lot of new stuff happening. Okay. Energy wise and soon to be tangibly. All right. With that new moon, new moons in a row, 3 actually, because the one right next to that is new moon. But we've got strength showing up here underneath that meditate and contemplate, power and endurance. It's going to take some, you know, it's going to take some extra reserves of endurance right now for a lot of people, because so much is being triggered right now. So much is coming to light, and especially with our star seeds and our light workers and whatever you want to label it. Okay. We're extra sensitive. So we're not just processing for us and for those in our immediate surroundings, we're processing for the world right now. Okay. Especially if we're paying attention to world events like, oh my goodness, Jamaica. Okay. And Florida's getting hit by that storm, by Hurricane Melissa. Most terrible name for a hurricane, in my opinion. I like the exotic ones for hurricanes, but that's my preference. Anyway, a lot of chaos happening. We are being forced to tap into our reserves of strength that we didn't even know we had. Most of us have lived really rough experiences from the day we were born, okay? And I totally get it. We've been through hell and back. But that was our practice for this chaotic fucking shift in events, okay? It is all chaos, but it is divine orchestration, and I promise you it's going to get better. Individually, things are starting to balance out. We're going to have hiccups here and there, things that we need to focus on, you know, to face in our own lives from time to time moving forward, especially with, you know, the external chaos of the collective energies. But our individual circumstances are going to start kind of leveling off a little bit, okay, because we've got so much to focus on with collective energy. And it first starts as within, so without, right? Starts within, and it starts within our own little personal experience, okay, individual experience, and then it echoes out to the greater collective. So get back in touch with yourself, get back in touch with nature, go hug a tree if you need to. I know that it's winter or it's hitting winter for a lot of us. A lot of us are going to have a lot of snow. Can't really get that grounding done, but you can go hug a tree, baby, out in the snow. Okay. You can go hug a tree, get you a little pot of dirt before the snow falls, and, you know, stick your feet in it, put your little copper coils. I got here, let me show you. And I don't think I've ever showed you guys this. This is my little money tree. But I made it a little copper coil with a chopstick, and that goes down in, and the copper coils all the way down to the bottom of that chopstick where it is in the soil. So it is conducting energy and it is radiating it down to the soil, helping to ground my beautiful plant. So do something like that. If you are in the northern hemisphere where you're starting to experience the end of fall and beginning of winter. Bring love into the situation with the new moon in Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius, you guys. Pluto is in Aquarius, okay? So new ideas, forward thinking, forward evolution. This is evolving our species. Exactly everything that's happening right now, completely aligned with Pluto, okay? Pluto is a generational planet, so it will be that way for a really long time. Thanks, Matt. Inspiration, beautiful spark, moving impulse, okay? Get inspiration anywhere and everywhere that you can. If you feel inspired watching the sunset, go watch the sunset. If that inspires you to paint, to dance, to create in some form or fashion, absolutely do that. Tapping into your sacral chakra right now is one of the best things that you can do for yourself and for the greater good of the collective. Okay. We need to be, because all of these ugly shadow energies and all of this fear and the density and all the negativity and the bullshit, okay, it's permeating through the earth plane right now. Undeniable. So as much as we can ground, as much as we can creatively, focus our energy, become inspired, that helps lift our frequency. Inspiration, authenticity, creativity, all of these things help to raise our frequencies, right? So as often as we can tap into those energies, we need to be doing that and grounding them into the plane. That happens a couple of ways. Okay. You can do that. You can ground by the grounding exercises we talked about, but the act of creating something from your inspiration, from your creativity channel, and anchoring it into the 3D or, the tangible realm, okay, by way of writing it down, drawing it, dancing it, whatever, that is anchoring that creative energy into the physical plane. So by you doing exactly what you love, you're anchoring authenticity into the plane. Our grid is about to really light up. That solar flash we talked about, I talked about it a few years ago. And we've been talking about it like off and on. Anyway, we've been receiving kind of small bits here and there. It's been trickling in, and now we're getting huge waves like I talked about earlier. We've been preparing for the flash, and now we're getting even more deeply prepared for this flash where consciousness is going to take a huge leap. And then that's when you'll start to see that, basically all of the denser shit starts to dissolve. We start to actually do something with it. Clean house, get that shit the fuck up out of here. So bring love into the situation. Anchor your love, anchor your authenticity, anchor your creativity into this plane, into your life. Even if you feel like nothing is working for you, you know what? Put it down, whatever project, whatever job, whatever thoughts are, you're trying to stay afloat by swimming through. Stop it. Just put them down and go create something. Go shake your ass. Go paint something. Go sketch. Go draw something. Go write something. Go fix something. If you're a mechanic and you're mechanically inclined and that's your way of creating, then go do that. Whatever helps you to feel like you're tapping into your creativity, do that. Okay. And you might be pleasantly surprised whenever you come back around to the thing that wasn't working out or you couldn't see the solution, after going and being in your authenticity and creating something, getting into that creative energy. Wow, a solution arrives. Wow, the thing manifests. Wow, you have food to feed your family, like if you're in the US or Gaza. So whatever it is, take a break, put it down, go create, go tap into that. Because they can only copy you for so long. They can only, you know, take that carbon copy imprint of your energy and benefit from it for so long. And when you stop feeding it, when you stop giving that emotion, that loosh, that fear, that whatever, they're not going to be able to use your energy because they will have none of it to put to use. So don't feed the monster. Focus on solutions, focus on enjoying your existence right now, no matter how difficult it can be. And trust me, I know. Okay. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to argue with me about how am I supposed to enjoy when this and that and this has happened to me and this is happening to me now and blah, 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 blah. I get it. Okay. I've been there. I am there. I get it. Okay. But also, you can't fucking stay there. Even if just for your own sanity, you can't fucking stay there. So if you're going to drown either way, why not do something you enjoy doing? Like the Titanic movie, you know, like the band, they still kept playing until they saw water like rising up to their feet. You know what I mean? So it's going to happen anyway. So you might as well pass the time, you know, enjoying yourself instead of being in fear and constant turmoil. Like, lighten the frequency and you will be surprised at what manifests from it. Because they can throw all of the shit that they want at you, baby, but you're going to use it for fertilizer and you're going to grow a fucking crop that's going to make you fucking rich. Okay. Abundant, rich, prosperous, whatever it is. There's a fly that came up in here. I don't know where these flies be coming from, but they are. Thank you, Matt. I love you guys. I will see you later. I have to get off here. Got to go pick up my children soon. I love you guys. If you didn't catch in the beginning, if you weren't here right at the beginning, I'm thinking about doing these on Tuesdays instead of Mondays just because our beautiful Holly, she has physical therapy for the foreseeable future scheduled for Mondays. And since I've gone down to just one day a week and that being Mondays, it's not so fair for her. So we'll probably move it to Tuesday. So just expect next week that this live will be scheduled for Tuesday instead of Monday. Okay. And that's going to be for the foreseeable future. Again, I may change it. Who knows what's going to happen between, you know, now and whenever. So I love you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, for being here and supporting me. I will see you guys next week. Mwah. Take care.